Hey folks, this is the Colossal Mike Law, and you are listening to Wrestling with Entertainment. Enjoy the show, support these guys. We appreciate it very much. We'll see you at ringside.
Hey, it's the K-tastic one on Money Chaos, and you're listening to Wrestling with Entertainment podcast.
Hey, this is the Grinder, Mark Shaw, and you're listening to Wrestling with Entertainment.
Dear lovers, this is the real life Cupid, and you're here with Wrestling with Entertainment. Love, Doug.
This is the visionary Von Vertigo, and you're listening to Wrestling with Entertainment.
Hi, this is the Princess of Perfection, Savannah Summers, and you're listening to Wrestling with Entertainment.
What's up, y'all? This is the girl from Ocean Avenue Kennedi Copeland, and you're listening to Wrestling with Entertainment.
Hello, and welcome to the show. It's Wrestling with Entertainment, bringing you the latest exclusive breaking news, previewing and reviewing the latest shows from WWE, AEW, New Japan, and everything in between every Saturday, and interviewing all your favorite wrestlers on Wednesday on YouTube and Castbox, sponsored by Rogue Energy. Of course, I am your host, James Shea, alongside Kaliko Yachts.
Where my dogs at? That's my best DMX. Where my dogs at?
And Scooter Dust.
I'm wondering when it's appropriate to tell my dog he's adopted.
Oh!
And
oh my god.
It's a great day for wrestling, because we are wrestling with weighing in at 120 pounds of pure angst, the overcast kid, the girl from Ocean Avenue, Kennedi Copeland.
Dang, y'all did your research.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, Ocean Avenue, New York, represent.
Yep, exactly.
How are you, Kennedi?
I'm happy to be here. I'm just happy to be here.
Could you tell us what's coming up next for you and where we can find you on social media?
Oh gosh, so this is really dorky of me, but I whipped out my planner because I'm like, I don't even know what I have coming up. I'm trying to think because I know this is pre-recorded and this airs, so I think this airs after I have my ladder match at Invictus, and this also airs after I have Intergender Bonanza.
Yes.
I'm sure you'll be able to...
But before Hardcore Kingdom?
Yes, I was getting to that. I also have the mental health soiree. I think that's how that's pronounced.
The mental health matters, and we're going to get into that because that's a vicarious connection.
Is it?
And I will explain.
That's the one you've been hinting at? Oh,
yes.
We're getting closer.
that I am in fact mental.
What's that?
See, now we playing Blues Clues with this stuff.
Oh man, I didn't know that's what we were gonna be doing tonight.
And you
we got my handy dandy notebook, not my planner. Jeez.
I mean, you could draw on a planner.
I'm very OCD. I just have to put like events in there.
Oh, you're that person. You writing the lines on your date, on that date, like it can't touch the next day type of deal.
Yeah. Calm down. My God.
The small. I'm no judge. I used to do the same thing. It'd be like the smallest lettering that you could barely read it, but you know you got something to do that day. So I feel you.
And we could find these matches on IWTV, correct?
Yes. Yep. And then I believe Invictus will be on. Oh, forgive me. I never do my research. I believe it's going to be on High Spots. Correct me if I'm wrong. I'm just all over the place that I can't keep up. I'm totally kidding.
All right, so let's get into some of the companies you worked for. You worked for Limitless, and more recently, you made your debut for No Peace Underground. Can you tell us about your relationship with those companies?
So I don't know how much I want to give away about Limitless because there's some episodes coming up. I'll allude to that. And No Peace, that was, I mean, I'm still kind of, it was like a couple weeks ago at this point, and I'm still kind of processing it. I never really thought that would happen to me.
Was that like a big opportunity you felt for you?
Yes. I've never done a no ring death match. I've never wrestled in Florida. The last time I even went to Florida was when I was 3 years old. So that was also the last time I've ever been on a plane. So it was just like a lot happening at once. But I mean, it was like overwhelming in the best way possible.
Right, that's great.
Mm-hmm.
And Scooter, you finally wanna tell her your
Yes, let's the big reveal. So, No Peace Underground, your no ring death match against Miss Wreck.
Yep. So
the people that were calling that event, one of them, when I broke into the business in 2010 for the NYWC.
Oh no, okay.
One of my best friends in the business was Larry Legend.
Really?
Yes.
That's too funny.
And
oh, no wonder you wanted to talk about the mental health awareness show, which you should talk about anyway. But
yes, Larry and I we would travel to the shows together and everything, and eventually we did have to go our separate ways. But we've still been talking, and actually, this got me talking to him again.
Oh.
And we wanted to know more about this. I guess it's now being called the Mental Health Soiree. Yes. I've seen it referred to as the Mental Health Matters. But Larry is captaining a team against Chad, another ring announcer as well.
Yes.
Chad has picked Stan Styles for his first team member.
Mm-hmm.
And Larry has picked you.
Yes.
So tell us more about this event, your intended participation in the event, and what this event is really about at its heart.
And maybe your relationship with Larry as well.
Yeah, so when this is also kind of overwhelming for me. So when I was reached out to, I was asked, hey, do you want to do this show? And I was like, yeah, because this is something that is really near and dear to my heart. So I was honored just to be asked. And then I was told that I was going to be on Larry Legend's team, and I was the first pick, and I was like, what did I do to deserve all of this? Because I want to keep doing it, you know what I mean? And I actually ran into him, weirdly enough, I ran into him in Orlando the night I debuted for No Peace, and he was just a ray of sunshine. He's so just jolly, and like
he really is.
He's just I'm so like blown away by just how like charismatic he really is. So
he absolutely is. I mean, when he stepped away from the NYWC, I had to fill his shoes, and I couldn't do it. I couldn't fill his shoes, or at least I couldn't be this myself that I am now. But Larry again was somebody I always again was one of my best friends, and this event benefiting mental health awareness. I myself am diagnosed with bipolar 1, and I've had my ups and had my downs. Do you know which charities specific are going to benefit from this? I believe the Trevor Project is one of them.
And then there is another one. I cannot think of it off the top of my head.
The second floor youth helpline.
Yes. Yep. I was gonna say, I know they have it all over their social media posts and everything, so you'll definitely be able to find it there.
But see. And Larry has a very high opinion of you. When I reached out to him for a couple of words, even though he's seen, your No Peace Underground work and your time at H2O, which, by the way, R.I.P. Danny Havoc. And he had nothing but great things to say about you. So again, personally, this event, I think it really, and this is the first time I might actually even break down, because I've lost so many friends to it, and I myself, and I don't speak for James or Kaliko. They can chime in, but this is just so touching to me that I'm looking to get involved in this in some way.
Yeah, definitely.
By making a donation or some way, because this is an issue I believe in, and I just absolutely love that this is happening.
Yeah, and I mean, any little bit helps. So even just promoting the show, that'll go a long way.
Oh, absolutely. We take mental health serious here on Wrestling with Entertainment. Now, Kaliko, you have a question?
Yeah, but before that, I second everything that Scooter says, because I'm a former veteran U.S. Marine, so I totally wholeheartedly agree with mental issues, especially considering it from a veteran's perspective, and so it all hits home to all of us in some kind of a way,
Yeah.
So anything we can do to help, just give us a ring, right? But I did want to. I know, right? But you were in Florida, which was like the week before Mania. Now, granted, I happened to be there Mania weekend, so I was there for the Edge match. And one thing I noticed is that you are just like, I know. I'm sorry.
No,
I'm sorry.
I don't actually.
I'm sorry.
I'm just very jealous.
I'm sorry. Yeah, that's what I was wondering, because I'm assuming you just flew into Florida and flew back, correct?
Yeah.
Or did you stay the whole Mania week thing?
I would have loved to, and it's funny because my brothers, I have two older brothers, and they went to Mania, and I couldn't stay because the way my second COVID vaccine fell, I had to be back before Mania. So, so close yet so far away.
Oh, that is just that is brutal.
Yeah,
it is, but I mean, it's
you did your part,
it was
but
for a good reason, I guess.
Right. Did you get your vaccine shot? Yes. What did it cost you? WrestleMania.
It cost me. What did it cost? Everything. Oh my gosh.
Exactly.
You know what? I've been fortunate. I got to see him win his first WWE championship live. And I also got to see him retire. Like the SmackDown show that he retired, that was in my hometown. So I really can't complain.
So it's safe to say you're an edgehead. You're an edgehead, though.
Dude, ever since I was like in kindergarten, I was like, I love this man. Okay? He's not just a phase.
Because that was the one thing I noticed. She was just like, can we just get to the Edge match? Can we just get to the Edge match? Can we just...
Oh my God. So impatient.
So I always wanted to see from a wrestler's perspective, what did you think of WrestleMania? Because it's crazy. We always talk about the fans, entertainment wise, but you looking at it from a different set of eyes, from two of us at least, out of the three on this panel. What did you think of that show?
That's kind of an interesting question, because I guess I don't view myself any differently. You know what I mean? I still think of myself as like a fan. I mean, half the time when I'm wrestling, I'm like, I can't believe I'm here. So like, I still think of myself as a fan, but it felt great to be like that emotionally invested. I was a little upset with obviously the ending of that match, but then in hindsight, I was like, you know what? Like it made me feel, and that's more than I can ask for. So I ended up in a roundabout way being very pleased with it.
So you have brothers you just mentioned. Hypothetically speaking, if they wanted to get into wrestling, would you be the supportive sister to help them, or would you be Roman Reigns' head of the table sister?
Oh my God. I don't know. I do feel as though I owe them because, they're the reasons I got into wrestling. They would have it on the TV and I would just kind of be like, what you doing and whatnot. And I was always a tomboy growing up. So I guess I would support them to an extent,
But if they cross that line, fall in line, oos, right?
Well, then they're gonna learn, boys.
Now, let's get into it. Can you tell us about working in the pandemic era of wrestling and wrestling in front of no crowd?
So I try to look on the bright side. And I'm not undermining the pandemic at all. I do take it seriously. I mean, wear your masks, everybody. I don't care if you're vaccinated, still wear your masks and whatnot. But I believe if, as long as promotions are doing it safely and whatnot, like as long as they're making everybody get tested or show proof of vaccination and whatnot, and they're still encouraging to wear masks and whatnot, I think that there is, still a time and place for it. And really it's been a learning experience because I feel as though I've really been able to kind of hone my craft, I guess. It's almost, I don't want to say it's less pressure wrestling not in front of fans, because really you're wrestling in front of your peers and sometimes that's almost more intimidating. So to me, in a way, it's really made me kind of step up my game.
Interesting. Is it when you're, wrestling in front of, not a live crowd, how do you work that match differently than what you would have with a crowd?
I don't. I try not to, at least. You know what I mean? I still want to be in the habit of, I just want to stay in those habits and whatnot. And I mean, I guess we're all trying to, at least the way I see it, we're trying to impress one another. So it's like you still want to pull out all the stops and whatnot. So I try not to be too different,
Interesting. Scooter, you have a question?
Now, building on performing in no crowd, and I'm hoping this research is correct because I couldn't get a definitive yes as to whether it was you or not. But if I said Grim, would that bring back memories?
Oh, jeez.
Of course, I'm referring to a match that is so out of this world, so unbelievable. It's not even listed on Cage Match or Pro Fight DB. Of course, I'm talking about your match against the man with two hands and a fighting chance, James Ellsworth.
That's funny that that's not listed.
That happened at Grimm's Toy Show Wrestling GTS. And James Ellsworth, this was 3 years ago. He's the intergender champion. He's taken up the mantle of Andy Kaufman, and you're facing him. And the first thing he says is, why instead of wrestling, why don't we just make out, go in the back, and have sex? And I'm like, oh my god.
Yeah, didn't age well.
And then
God.
you actually made out with Mr. No Chin. How did
gross.
how did that whole thing come to happen? And just give all the details.
Y'all want the tea? Not my finest moment. But the way that match came to be was actually, I know the guy who physically made the oh god, I don't even remember what he calls it. Intergender
Championship. It's got half pink, half blue. It's actually a very beautiful belt.
So, well, apparently it was made wrong, according to Ellsworth, but whatever. I thought it was fine. I might be a little biased though, because like I was saying, I know the guy who made the belt. He would pop into like the gym that I trained jiu-jitsu at, and so I think I like jokingly tweeted out like, "Hey, I know the guy who made the belt, so like I want a chance at it," and literally like that's how it happened. So shoot your shot, I guess, on social media, but careful what you wish for.
Sounds like that tweet was sent out maybe too hesitantly, a little prematurely.
Yeah.
Well,
like I said, careful what you wish for.
Right.
Well, the Twitter thing is also interesting because according to what we believe is your official Twitter, it says you joined Twitter only in July 2020.
So I've had multiple ones. Actually in July. That's really when I started back up again. I've had multiple ones before, but I actually I took a hiatus from wrestling, and when I did that, I deleted all of my social media. I deleted my Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. I was basically like a hermit for a couple months. Honestly, those weren't a bad couple months.
And I think
so yeah, that was when I had that match, was before all of that.
I think James has more has a question about that hiatus.
Yep.
Yeah. So you. Let me get my. Yeah, you retired 2 times before, or hiatus, or whatever you would like to call it.
Mm-hmm.
Could you tell us what made you stop and what ultimately made you come back? Was it the James Ellsworth match that made you retire?
I was getting to that point. No, so man, y'all really did your research. So I trained for a little bit, and then I, had those thoughts of I'm not good enough. I felt it was just too toxic for me. So, that's why mental health awareness is very, very important to me. So I quit. Not ashamed to say that I quit. Went back a couple years later, and it was, again, I have to hand it to my brothers. They were like, "Oh, hey, Mania," I think it was like 29 at the time. WrestleMania 29 is this weekend, like, let's watch it. And I watched it, and I was like, oh my god, I missed this. So got back into it. I kind of, pushed myself as hard as I could go, but not taking into consideration, self-care, and I wasn't setting boundaries for myself. So pretty much I got burnt out, and then I lost one of my siblings, actually passed away, and I was like, that's it, I'm done. I was like, I need to kind of really think about what my priorities are. And then I went back when, I had enough of a break, kind of got that itch again. And then I was like, I think my sibling would be a little upset with me if I was like using that as an excuse. So that kind of just added the fuel to my fire again. And so I've been back ever since.
Was that how you got back into Limitless Wrestling?
Yes, actually. I think that was I think there was like a show that I just wanted to like watch and hang out at. I think it was their Let's Wrestle shows. And then they're like, "Hey, get on out there." And so yeah.
So what's different this time that was maybe like you didn't know last time? What version
like
of Kennedi Copeland are we talking to?
So I really like this question. I think it's just more of like, I've been going to therapy for years now. And so I've been trying to apply what I have learned to wrestling. I mean, when I first trained, it was like, if you really want this, you'd be willing to do anything and you'll give up anything. And I realized that's not the case. That's not what was making me happy. In fact, it was kind of making me miserable. So again, I set those boundaries. I was like, okay, I don't have to wrestle every single weekend. It's okay if I'm just what people consider like a weekend warrior. It's okay if this isn't, if I never get to do this full time and whatnot. So I think I'm just more, I guess, aware of what I'm doing.
Great. Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Kalika, you have a question?
Yeah, I do, but I also want to piggyback off that. I think that's brave because I truly believe that some people like. I think that people try to get to a goal, and they just worry about the destination rather than the journey.
Yeah.
And to me, the journey is just as important as the destination.
It's crazy that you say that, because that's kind of what my therapist would allude to. Because she would say, like, why do you feel like you have to do this? And I was like, well, I wanted ever since I was in kindergarten and da-da-da. She's like, you can, like, get off the train anytime you want, right? Like, it doesn't matter what the stop is. Like, if you're not enjoying the ride. And I was like, oh my God. But I mean, I still want to ride the train a little bit, just, a little bit differently.
Yeah, I mean, and I totally agree with that. Like, it's people look at wrestling as a sprint, like just sprint. Hopefully I can get to one of the bigger companies, when in actuality, I think it's more of a marathon. It's more about who can stay in the race the longest without breaking. So, I mean, for you to be strong enough to do it, it's just amazing.
Oh, well, thank you for that. The thing is, that's another thing I actually learned was set like realistic goals, or set intentions. So you can kind of, you can say like, oh, I want to work for GCW, or I want to work for Beyond. That's not up to me, unfortunately. So even though that's a goal that you can have, if you don't accomplish it, that's not, it's not entirely your fault. So really what you should be doing is like, okay, I'm, currently my goal is like to have fun. That is something that I can be in control of. If I am offered a booking that I just, it doesn't appeal to me, I don't have to take it. I used to be somebody that was like, I'm going to take all of them because I never know when the next opportunity is going to be. But now if I just get burnt out, like, is it really worth it in the end? So.
Right.
Hypothetically speaking, is getting hit by a fluorescent light fun?
What was that? Do you mind repeating that?
Is getting hit by a fluorescent light fun?
Honestly, it's like an adrenaline rush like no other.
Really?
Yeah, it's wild. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what it is about it.
So here's my question then. What's more fun? And I would think the second one would be fun, getting hit with the fluorescent lights, or as I catch in your matches, you love catch wrestling and arm bars. It seems like you are a arm bar queen. Like,
arm collector.
Shayna Baszler does arm bars, but no, not like you. You were like the Brazilian-ish type stuff. So to me, I'm like, oh, she really likes catching somebody and not letting them go. So which one would I'm assuming it would be the second.
I don't know. I mean, I don't know. This is a hard question. I think both in their own right. Because I mean, like, when I, did No Peace, and then I came back, and then I went back to work and everything, I was like, yeah, I took a light tube, and everyone's like, "Oh, what? Like, what's that?" And I'm like, "It's what you think it is." Like, I took a light tube, so like that's cool. But also, when you're able to cinch that arm bar on somebody, that's cool too. So they're both fun in their own right.
How about a match where you get hit with a light tube and then put somebody in an arm bar immediately after?
Oh, that's Nirvana.
Goals.
Goals.
What goals?
Goals.
That is my new intention, is to do that.
Scooter, you have a question?
Okay, I'm just gonna say one word. Yeet!
Oh my god.
The Yeeton bomb.
Man, there's no, like, y'all know everything.
Oh, there's nothing we can't find.
Seriously.
The Yeeton bomb. How did that come to be?
Oh my god.
Why is it Yeet?
So I feel like everything I kind of pitch is just I don't want to say it's a joke, but like I'm kind of like half kidding when I say it. But I noticed that when people would like do sentons, or like if they would like launch themselves across the ring, like throwing a drop kick or whatever, like they make that like noise. And I was like, I said to somebody, I was like, you should just say yeet, like when you're doing it. And then I just kind of started doing it. So then that's why I called it that. It just happened organically.
So you've never played Roblox in your life?
I'm almost embarrassed to say I don't really know what that is.
Yeah,
trust me, you ain't missing out.
Oh, okay. Well, now I'm gonna look it up.
No, that's where the soundbite of yeet comes from.
Yeet, yeah, yeet.
Okay.
Yeet, yeet, yeah, yeet. That's a whole thing. Yeah.
I think the moral to that story is be careful what you say out into the world.
That's what I'm saying. Careful what you wish for, and like careful what you put out in the universe. Because, and I honestly think that's how No Peace happened. Because, you know, it was a weekend off, and I was sitting on the couch, and I was like, wonder what's streaming on IWTV, and that's what popped up. I'm like, what fresh hell is this? Like, I had never seen. I was like, where's the ring? And then months later, I was like, oh my god, I'm here. Like, it's crazy.
Yeah, be careful what you yeet for.
Seriously, story of my life.
I think everybody can get along with that one. Be careful what you yeet.
That's gonna be my new slogan.
Feel free.
Thanks, guys.
That will conclude the workshop portion of this interview. No, you know, Limitless Wrestling has a who's of women's wrestling. I mean, it's one of the most stacked women's roster out there. You know, it's WWE, Impact, Limitless. You wrestled none of the women though. But you've wrestled a who's who of the men. Was that something intentional or unintentional? Or are you just showing up and they're saying you're fighting this guy tonight?
I think they look at me and they're like, you know what would be fun if so and so threw Kennedy around, and I just go with it. I'm like, yeah, that does sound fun. Everything is a happy accident.
You look so comfortable in that ring. No matter the gender of your opponent, you look absolutely at home and comfortable in the ring. That I'm
not always.
Has any opponent been caught so off guard by your comfortability that they had one opinion of you going into the match, maybe they underestimated you, and then the opinion changed for the better afterwards?
If that's the case, I have not heard of that. If so, I would love, I invite people to share their thoughts and feelings. But what really gets me is when, people will come up to me and be like, I want to have a match with you. And I'm like, me? Like, are you sure you're talking to the right person? And I mean, it's always just kind of very validating when they say, you've grown leaps and bounds. You're more confident in the ring. And I think that kind of, that obviously contributes to it. That's just going to help you keep growing. So I'd love to hear if I was able to change anybody's opinions. That would be awesome.
Was, intergender wrestling something you wanted to do at the beginning of your career, or something you kind of fell into, and what do you kind of prefer? Wrestling the girls or wrestling the guys?
So y'all ask really good questions. Just wanted to say, like, these are some of the best questions I've ever gotten. I think it was just I want to wrestle. You know what I mean?
Right.
So I had a lot of siblings growing up, but I was closest in age and just closest with my brothers. So I was always just, I didn't see anything different. There was no difference between us. And, I was inspired by the likes of like China, who would fight dudes. I was inspired by Sable, who could power bomb them. You know what I mean? So I was just like, I want to wrestle, And I mean, it gives my dad a heart attack every time he finds out, like, you're facing another guy. And I'm like, yeah, what of it? But I also think it helps that at jiu-jitsu, I don't want to say I prefer to train with the men. Sometimes it really sucks. It hurts. But the way I see it, like, for a while, one of my training partners was somebody who did collegiate wrestling for 14 years, and he kicked the shit out of me every time. I apologize if we're not allowed to swear, but that's
no, say whatever you want.
Yes. We don't give a fuck.
He would tell me that, like, facing, not just facing guys, but just facing people who are bigger than you and stronger than you is only going to help you when you face somebody pretty much your size. So I don't see any difference between, like, any of it.
All right, that's a great answer.
Oh, thank you.
I love that answer. Kaliko, you have a question?
Yeah, but to jump on that, trust me, I think wrestling guys or wrestling people bigger than you, it makes you focus more on the technique. Because I used to wrestle in high school, and I was 119, and and my wrestling partner was Quinn Rampage Jackson, who is like literally a heavyweight. So this dude is tossing me like a rag doll, and I'm like, and you have to, it makes you improvise. So I think in that way, I see that in your wrestling where it's like you're not even having to use brute strength. You're just catching an angle and just switching with it, which is really good, which is basically what wrestling is in its purest form. But I did want to go over the Wrestle Cup because you were in the Wrestle Cup. And one of our guesses, Billy Starks, was one of the participants in that. And her being a teenager, I just wanted to catch your opinions of her because she seems so into it. She's really into it. And we had her on and she was all about it. And she was just sweet and great. And I feel like that she is going to be a game changer for women's wrestling in the future due to the fact that she's getting so much exposure into the business now, vice having to wait to being 18. What are your thoughts on that? I
don't even feel like she's just going to change women's wrestling. I think she's going to change all of it. And that was the first time I ever actually met her. And she was just so personable and so nice. And she's really, she's down to earth. She's level-headed and she's grounded. I want nothing but the best for her. And I just hope wrestling doesn't ruin her. Because she's genuinely I get really good vibes from her.
We're hoping that too. Like, please, we're telling the wrestling gods, please don't fuck this up.
We're gonna put this out in the universe. Don't ruin her.
Yeah, don't fuck her over. Please don't.
Please don't let wrestling do to her what it did to me.
I mean, you have green hair, she has blue hair. Do you think those might be a tag team deal?
That would be cool. But I guess, I don't know if I talked about this, but Sean Henderson's having a birthday blast at the end of May, and it's going to be, I think they call it an aerial assault, which that sounds intimidating, but I believe it to be like a scramble, and her and I are both in it, so I'm very stoked about that.
Oh, interesting.
Mm-hmm.
You might have to lay it the smackdown on Billy.
Well, she's probably gonna lay it on me. Let's be real here.
Well, you might have a light tube, so it evens out. Scooter, you have a question?
Let's see, what can we surprise her with now? Okay. You've worked for H2O, and recently you've been announced as the third participant of the 5th annual H2O Hardcore Kingdom tournament. How did you feel about that when you were asked to participate? What are your expectations, and are they anything like what you've seen in H2O compared to guys like Chuck Payne and G Raver and Jeff Cannonball and whatnot, and Ben Sullivan on all those things those guys do? Basically, what are your expectations out of the tournament, and are you expecting to bleed? I guess because I don't want you to.
You know what? I try to go into things with no expectations. That way, I don't I don't get my I don't get my hopes up. But I actually remember I didn't even really know like what I was agreeing to. Like I don't know. A lot of this is just like, I can't believe this is happening to me. So when it was offered to me, I was like, what? And I remember even asking G Raver backstage. I was like, what do? Like, he's been very instrumental in helping me through. I think he's just kind of like, this poor girl has no idea what she's doing. So I'm always like, send help. Because I'm still very new to this whole world of hardcore wrestling, but I'm very happy to be in it, So I really don't know what to expect. But I think that's kind of what makes it so fun.
And maybe a easier question would be, what is your absolute limit in terms of what you would do in a hardcore match?
Oh God.
If there is any.
I don't even know. I mean, I've taken needles in the forehead. I've taken syringes through my cheek.
Oh God.
Yeah, and everyone's like, I would never. Like, I draw the line at syringes. I'm like, it's
She about that
like
life.
getting a piercing, and I already have several of those. So I don't know. I guess we'll find out, and it's gonna be the hard way.
Her pain tolerance is high. That's what it is.
Honestly, I guess I'm a glutton for punishment. I don't know.
Damn.
Wow.
I think you might be going into that with more experience than a lot of people are expecting.
Yeah. Hopefully, I mean, we'll see what happens.
It's Cactus Jane.
It's really funny. It is because I don't know. Somebody like jokingly called. They're like, "Oh, you're like the female Mick Foley now," and as honored as I was, I found it very amusing. And I told my dad that, and he's like, you don't need to be Mick Foley. Like, please pick somebody else. I'm like, I didn't. It just happened.
Don't be the next Mick Foley. Be the first you.
Exactly. And that's what I'm trying.
All right. I waited long enough to ask this question. The Logan Black match.
Oh gosh.
How did you find out? Who told you? How did both of you set up the match? How much planning went into the match, and how much was called on the fly?
So basically the way that match happened was pretty much how I alluded to earlier, when people are like, it'd be fun if I threw Kennedi around. So that's kind of how that happened. Logan Black is somebody else who has been very near and dear to me, extremely helpful. You know, I never feel awkward asking him anything. And that's something that's really important to me because I'm normally a very shy person. So if I can approach you and you don't judge me or anything, like that goes a long way for me. So yeah, it was pretty much just him being like, I want to throw her around. I know I can get a good match out of her. And he's also somebody that's told me like, you have definitely grown in confidence and whatnot. So it was just, I don't know. I feel as though that match was almost like a turning point for me because that's a match that a lot of people bring up. And I mean, I'm so fortunate.
Do you think that match was kind of like a match you kind of needed to have, so to speak?
I do think so. I think that that is where I guess I feel as though that is the bar that I want to reach for every match now because everyone was like, man, your strikes were like on point, and I'm like, I'm not kidding when I say that hurt me. Like he's a thick dude, and I was like, what? Ow. But you know, I want to bring that much intensity to every single match. So yeah, I definitely feel as though that was something that needed to happen.
Dummy thick.
That took me a second. I'm like, what? I'm the dummy here. Yeah, no, I would smack him and be like, why did that backfire?
That's actually really clever.
Scooter, you have a question?
Y'all been on a roll with them.
Yeah, yes. So couldn't help but notice you on your social media picture with a couple of cute puppers.
Mm-hmm.
And believe you work for the Humane Society. Tell us more about that and how that came to be.
So along with wrestling, animals is pretty much like all I've ever known.
Wrestling animals.
What's that?
Wrestling animals. No.
Some days I have to.
No. I thought she meant wrestling
like,
animal. I thought you meant wrestling animal like the Muppets.
Woman!
Oh my God. Yeah, that's one of my that's an opponent I want to face.
We're setting goals here.
So y'all think I would win?
Oh, of course.
Yeah, you're good. You'll go over.
Yeah. But yeah, I've grown up with animals. I started off volunteering and pretty much just like worked my way up. I love what I do, and I think that's kind of what has helped me be content with my wrestling career. If this is as far as I go with wrestling, that's okay. I have something else that is extremely fulfilling for me. I'm so lucky that I get to say, like, I love my job. It's not a job.
That's great. And Kaliko, you have a question?
Yes. How was that conversation with Jess, aka Pizza Mom, after she saw your match?
I actually saw her like the week after, so she knows I'm okay. Shout out to Jess. I absolutely love her, and she's crazy because I remember when I first met her, it was at a pizza party taping, and she was helping put the ring together, and she's like, I don't even know wrestling. And I was like, how? But you know how to put together a ring? Like, I still struggle with that. So she is extremely helpful. She's just an overall wonderful person.
To me, it seems like she's the type of person because based on her reaction to your match, it seems like she was ready to jump in the stands for you. And she knows no wrestling holds or moves whatsoever, but she's
but
like,
she's smart. Like, she'll figure it out.
right, exactly.
There's no stopping her.
She'll figure it out. Arm bar, move 1, arm bar, move 2, arm bar,
Arm
I'll
bar
show her.
arm drag.
with an arm bar.
Can never go wrong with that.
I think one of the most underestimated things about you is your promo work. Specifically the "I'm not okay, I promise" promo. Could you tell us about that promo and what went into it?
I just like making obscure emo references. Pretty much. That's my goal. So I'm, like I said before, I'm very shy, so I'm not good at talking. So I can't just have somebody be like, stand here in front of this backdrop and here's a microphone and go. Like I can't do that. So I'm like, I need to make this, I need to make it me. I need to make it fun. So I need to kind of focus on like, all right, not that I'm going to screw up this promo or anything, but I'm going to see, how can I fit this reference in? I would also like make a lot of John Mulaney references. Yeah. So I would try to make it fun for myself and just sort of mold it to how like I needed to do it.
Would you do like the Stefan stuff that he wrote?
God, I'm gonna have to now.
America's
okay, that's my next
new
goal. Thank you
hotspot
for that.
is your mother and I are separating. And this place has everything. Virgos, fat Urgos. We're up on a tangent here. Yes.
The other promo I wanted to ask you about was the one with Mr. Ville, where
oh my God,
she actually stuffed you in a locker.
Yeah, and then we almost couldn't get the door open.
Oh my God, really?
Yeah, and I'm not like that claustrophobic, but that got me. Because we had tried it. I was like, I wonder if I can fit in this. And I did. They're like, all right, we're going to do this thing. And then it like, you couldn't get out. And I was like, what the hell? So, yeah, like I said, I just like to have fun with them, you know?
Sounds like my Friday night.
Yeah.
Wonder if I can fit in this.
Because you were fighting, and I was like, is she going to fit in there? And I was like, damn, that is really a small space.
Yeah, it was cozy.
I mean,
it's funny that you bring that promo up because my coworker always rags on me. He's like, "That was my favorite thing you've ever done. Is get shoved in that locker." I'm like, "Thanks, man. Thanks for your support."
I mean, if anything, that proves you can travel in the overhead bins on airplanes.
Right?
Yeah.
Fly me out anywhere. I don't take that much room.
That means you can sneak in a carry-on bag, a reasonable carry-on bag.
I'll find a way.
Now, another thing I wanted to bring up was, even when you're a spectator in a match, you still get involved in the action. And what I'm referring to is the Danger Kid Armani Chaos match, where Armani spilled your macaroni bites, and there seemed to be some heat there. Can you speak to
that? Dude, I love mac and cheese bites. So when they're in harm's way, I'm like a mama bear with them.
Well, we actually had Armani on, and we
did you?
Yes, and we asked him about that, and he was like,
"What did he say?"
He said that have more grown-up snacks and don't eat them at the event.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Grown-up snacks. That is the most. Come on, that's an ingenious whatever.
And
I'm flabbergasted right now.
He said that, the issues between him and you are not quite resolved, and maybe you need to get in the ring together.
I would be honored. That would be fun.
I think he should be honored to wrestle you, right?
Oh, well, not gonna argue with that. I'm flattered, but
I mean, I'm just disappointed that he doesn't know about mac and cheese life, because there's a whole festival in San Diego about that.
You know what? Either way, even if he were to beat me, like, he's still the real loser because he doesn't appreciate mac and cheese bites.
You need a loser goes into a mac and cheese pool match.
I would purposely lose.
she would take the finger. She would take the finger poke of doom. That's what this.
So
I would.
Someone get Randy.
1, 2, 3.
Someone get Randy on the phone.
Oh,
we got
Jesus,
another idea for him.
I dare you. Pitch it to him and see what he says. He'll probably be like, "What the hell?"
Randy, if you're listening, book the damn match. It's something we didn't know we needed.
Right?
Right.
That's also my life. I didn't know I needed this until now.
Oh, absolutely. I think we've had a lot of that in wrestling over the last couple of years.
Yeah.
Scooter, you have a question?
Do I have a question? Okay. Let's transition into something Kaliko can piggyback off of, and Ocean Avenue. Now Brooklyn. Obviously, I'm in Queens, so.
Okay.
But my father, born and raised, lived in Brooklyn, around the Coney Island section, where Ocean Avenue
is. It? Okay, so obviously I am not from. So Ocean Avenue kind of started off as a joke.
But I was gonna say, there's also a song by Yellow Card.
Yeah.
Well, there's an Avenue.
Yeah, so I was inspired. Like I said, I like to make obscure emo references.
What?
And I was doing like an indie show in like Western New York, and the guy was like, "Where do you want to be billed from?" And I was like, Ocean Avenue, like just on a whim. It started off as a joke, and he's like, "Okay." And it kind of just went from there, as you do. But a lot of people have actually said like, "Oh, like Ocean Avenue in Brooklyn." And I wasn't aware that there was an actual Ocean Avenue, and I'm gonna have to go there now. Is it in Coney Island? Because I've been there.
No, it's around Coney Island, but there's actually, believe it or not, another Ocean Avenue in Long Island, Nassau County, as well, which actually used to house the skating rink I went to as a kid. But before Kaliko follows up with more music questions, I just got to make this obscure emo reference. Do you ever wish your lawn was emo so it would cut itself?
Oh my God. I don't have to cut my lawn. That's what I pay homeowners association for.
Homeowners. She said homeowners, everybody.
No.
But no, I'm almost like honored that people think I'm from Brooklyn, because that's where my oldest sister lived. So I've been there a time or two, and I loved it there. So I'll be honorary from there.
All right. Now Kaliko has a colossal question he wants to ask you.
Okay.
He's not dead.
Was he ever really here to begin with?
No, I was about to say what part of Brooklyn, because hey, Marcy Projects is totally different from Williamsburg. If I know one thing, I know that much. But
you don't know more than I do.
Hey, I never said that, but I just knew.
She lived in. Okay, so the first apartment, she was like, "Oh, we like walking down the street, walking up to her apartment, and she's like, out things." And she's like, "Yeah, so like Biggie Smalls lived over there." I'm like, "What?" I don't know where that is.
That's
Bed-Stuy.
Bed-Stuy, yep. That's not even really. That's not Brooklyn, actually.
No.
Yeah, that's technically still Manhattan.
Really?
Which is weird, because the Brooklyn Nets on their jersey, they had the art jerseys. The art jersey was Bed-Stuy in honor of Biggie.
Huh. Well, she also was in. Is Park Slope in Brooklyn?
Yes, Park Slope is in Brooklyn. It's the hoity-toity section. I have family in Park Slope. Yes.
Hoity-toity. That makes sense. And then the last place she lived in was Bay Ridge, which I know that one is like on the outskirts.
Yeah, that's by the letters, alphabet C. Where every letter has an avenue except for Q.
Huh. I'm learning so much right now.
I know. We're getting a lesson in New York geography.
Yeah, we're getting a geography lesson. This is great.
Unless I'm completely wrong, but then.
Right, then.
Okay.
Well, learn from your mistakes, I guess.
Hey, I thought Winnipeg and Ontario. Hey, trust me, it all works out. But anywho, back to the question, because I'm kind of like the music dude. I don't know why that is, but I just love music. But the one thing I always wanted to ask is, based on your career, and that includes like your retirement. If you were to do a soundtrack for your wrestling career, what 3 songs would best encapsulate your career?
Oh my God! This is so good. I can't choose. Honestly, it would have to be at least one of them would have to be an Alter Bridge song, because fuck it, we'll just say Edge's song.
Which one?
The Alter Bridge one.
Okay, we'll do Metalingus.
Hey, I'm just clarifying for the soundtrack purposes.
Yes, exactly. for science. I would maybe Rise Today, because those were obviously the reason I found out about Alter Bridge was, through WWE, because they would use a bunch of their songs.
Of course.
They used Rise Today for like, oh God, what was it? One of their pay-per-views back in like 2007. So ever since then, I've been like obsessed with them. Oh God.
Unforgiven. 2007.
Is that what it was? Yes.
Unforgiven.
Yes.
2007.
Heck yeah, man, you guys are really good. I need one more.
Addicted to Pain.
Let's go with it. That's really funny, because that was my alarm, that was my alarm clock for the longest time.
That's
better than me.
Oh, that wasn't the song I was thinking of. I was thinking from the Suicide Squad soundtrack, and which I believe goes, "I'm just a sucker for pain."
Yes.
Oh, I see. Well, I mean, it's still, still applies. I guess you could say I am addicted to pain.
Sucker for pain?
Yeah. I mean, look what I do for fun.
All your friends are heathens?
James, you don't want to go down this road. I'll never shut up.
Okay.
I mean, she said that she used that for her alarm. My alarm at one time was hopped up out the bed, turned my swag on by Soulja Boy. So I can't even, trust me, I'm ashamed to say that.
No, that's great.
Did you have to crank that 3 times just to get it to turn off?
Nah, I just always got it to the I'm getting money. Oh.
Yeah, I know people say don't have your alarm be like a song that you like because you're gonna ruin it, but the way I see it is you want to start your day off right.
Sounds good.
Yeah, that's my logic.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's why I used to be. The other one used to be "You're the Best" from the Karate Kid. You're the best. Ultimate struggle, right there.
Now, one thing I wanted to ask you was, you had boxing ring gear at one point. Where did that come from? Was that a gimmick you were trying out?
So I basically, the way that came to be was I did do a couple of Muay Thai classes. I am ashamed to say that I did not keep up with them. That is hard. I'm not coordinated enough to do that. I think that's why I prefer jiu-jitsu, because you're already on the ground, so it's fine.
Brazilian?
But somebody caught wind of that, and they're like, that should be your gimmick. And they're like, here's some shorts, throw them on. So that was, and that was around the time when I took a hiatus, so I just felt like I wasn't being my authentic self. I was just kind of doing what people told me to. Yeah.
I see. Now, Scooter, you have any type of food-related questions you want to ask Kennedi?
What was that?
Food-related.
Food-related?
Scooter is our resident foodie. He likes food, and he likes asking people about food.
God, I didn't have an alternate food question prepared.
Well, great. So I'm just going to go into the pizza question cold.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll never pay full price for cold pizza.
All right. So, pineapple on pizza. What's your stance?
I don't like pineapple at all. I actually don't like a whole lot of fruit, so I guess you can. There's my answer.
I think that's
Yeah. Sorry if y'all do like it on there.
For those people listening, but not a lot of people that we've talked to like it. So.
Oh really? Okay, cool.
So you're fine.
Okay. Whew.
Who's your spirit Pokemon?
Oh my god. Oh my goodness. So it's really funny that you say this because the last taping I did for Pizza Party Wrestling, God, I can't remember who it was. I don't know. I literally walked into the locker room and somebody goes, "Pick a Pokemon, go." And I was like, what? Like, I was so just put on the spot. And I just went with Nidoran. I always liked Nidoran. We'll go with that one.
Wow.
All right.
I don't know. Because I don't know. I thought it was cool that you could have a dude Nidoran and a chick Nidoran. I was like, well, there's two? Nidoran! So, yeah.
I mean, it's a solid pick.
Solid pick.
The weirdest question you'll ever be asked on a podcast. Would you ever consider wrestling a Rock? Not Dwayne Johnson, an actual Rock.
Not the country either.
Sure. I mean, people have pet rocks, so why not have one as an opponent?
Just for context, there was this guy named Psycho Mike that wrestled a Rock for Backyard Pro for over 15 minutes, and what was billed as a Fortnite Iron Man match. Match that lasted 2 weeks.
Fortnite tungsten match.
Okay, well now I don't want to because I don't think I could ever top that. Because that's amazing.
It was a very interesting match to say the least. It was the second time they actually wrestled.
I'm gonna have to see this.
I will send it to you.
Please do.
Now for even weirder questions.
I'm loving this.
Did you steal Becca's holiday scrunchie?
No. I can't. My hair is very thin. I can't even put it up half the time. So what am I gonna do with a scrunchie?
I mean, that's what
my hair ties barely work.
I mean, that's what DVN said, but you saw the pictures of DVN with the scrunchie in.
Listen, don't be accusing me.
Or somebody said, Davian. What did they butchered her name. I'm sorry, am I taking a pot shot in another podcast? Maybe. No.
Oh.
Just popping
sipping my tea right now.
How do you avoid Love Doug's love?
I think I avoid it because
restraining order.
I think he's infatuated with others. So I guess I don't have to really worry about it.
All right.
I am not the apple of his eye, so there's that.
And I think that's a good thing, right?
Yeah, that's the bright side of being an outcast.
And now it is once again time for that segment. Kennedi Copeland's Bizarre Adventure. You're a pro wrestler that goes up and down the roads, and weird, crazy, and bizarre things are bound to happen. Can you tell us a story that fits that description?
Of something bizarre that happened?
Weird, crazy, bizarre, just out of the ordinary.
That happened on the road.
Oh my god.
Maybe on a 6-hour drive. Who knows?
I try to stay out of trouble. I'm lame. Oh my god, I don't. So I'm okay. This is gonna be lame, and I apologize, but just like
Nothing's ever lame.
well, this might be. I mean, like I said, I try to just keep to myself and whatnot. So like, nothing really out of the ordinary happens, I guess. But I think it's out of the ordinary for me because, like I've been saying, like I never really thought any of this stuff would happen to me. So the fact that like I, woke up at 5 a.m. and drove to Boston Airport and flew out to Florida and then was in a no-ring death match, and then the next day I flew back home and then drove back home, and just like I don't want to say like a normal person. I mean, I was telling my boss this, like, hey, I need these days off for this. And she's like, I can't believe you're going to Florida for like a day. And it really kind of makes you like pause and reflect and really just think this whole thing is weird. You know what I mean? Just wrestling in general is weird. So I think that's why I'm having a hard time like just kind of narrowing it down to one thing.
Who goes to Florida for a day? Honestly.
Yeah. I was like, yeah, I'm going to wrestle. Like, what's not to get? The things we do.
I mean, yeah, it's wrestling in general is bizarre, but I mean, it's kind of what brought us together at this moment right now. So,
right.
Gotta love wrestling.
It's just it's weird how how it all came to be.
And where do you see yourself in 5 years?
Do you mind repeating that?
Where do you see yourself in 5 years?
Oh my god, this question gets me every time. All
right, 4.5 years.
Huh?
All right, 4.5 years then.
Oh my god.
Just to make it different.
Now we're getting oddly specific. In terms
what will
of like
you
my
eat for dinner tonight?
Well, I set the bar very low for myself. So I just hope to be still happy and healthy. I'm hoping I at least have my purple belt by then. Because if it's going to take me 5 years to get that, then that's a problem. Maybe
black
even
belt.
brown. That takes a while. So I'll just be happy to so much as have a purple or a brown, if that.
Is that Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu?
Yes.
You do like Gracie style?
Yeah. I don't train at like a Gracie affiliated school. Like they'll have, Gracie academies and stuff. But the school that I train at, he said that he doesn't do politics, and I can, as someone in wrestling, I'm like, I hear ya.
Oh, now my question is, when you do get the belt, are they making you go through the ceremony where you walk through and everybody just whacks you with the belt?
So I have been fortunate that that was not what happened to me. But what did happen when I got my blue belt was he was like, hey, get into, side control. I want to see you do this one thing or whatever. So I get down, and all of a sudden I just feel this whack on my back. I'm like, what the hell? And he's smacking me with my blue belt. So he doesn't necessarily make everybody in the class do it, but that's, there's no need for that because he just wails you. Like, just him doing it is enough.
Because another reason for context, because Batista, when he got his black, I want to say his purple belt or black belt, And when he walked through, and there were people just lighting his ass up, and he just walking like a regular day.
No sold it.
Just nothing.
So it's a
Like,
black
this ain't-
belt.
That's all you got? Like shit. It's like, is that all you fucking got? That's all
I think I was just so like, oh my god, it's actually happening, that I didn't really notice. And then what got me was when he put the belt on me, he tied it as tight as he could, like a corset, and then was like, okay, get back to rolling. And I was like, I can't breathe. So that was the worst part.
It's a black and blue belt.
Seriously.
And
the color purple belt.
Sue.
What is a match people should go out of their way to see that best shows off what Kennedi Copeland is all about?
As soon as you said that, the first person that comes to mind is I was gonna say any match I've had. I've only had 2, unfortunately. I would wrestle him every day. I've had 2 matches with Matt Mikowski, and so I've actually had 2 matches with Killian Murphy as well, but I don't think you can really find those. So we'll just go with Mikowski. They'll probably be easier to find.
All right. And since we are nearing the conclusion of this interview, we are wrestling with the 9 questions of doom.
Oh my god.
No actual doom to be incurred.
These are 9 questions, are shoot round or bonus round, the round where we see who you really are. Are you ready, Kennedi?
No.
Too bad.
Okay.
Excluding yourself, greatest wrestler of all time.
Kurt Angle.
Worst wrestler of all time.
Worst? Oh, God, me?
Oh, no.
Whoa.
No, boo.
I have no idea. I don't want to be mean. Can I pass? Are we allowed to pass?
It's good to give her the default answer.
You have chosen Steve McMichael.
So if I don't answer, you choose one?
No, we only
Pretty
choose
much. The default. He's default.
Okay.
Because people have given him his name more than one occasion without us prompting.
Your main event in WrestleMania for the Women's Championship. Who is your opponent?
Mickey James, which I'm a little bummed she just got released. But whatever, she was underutilized anyway.
Hey, maybe
That's a
there's
good
an
pick.
opportunity that you might actually wrestle her.
Yeah, that's a good pick,
Oh my God,
though.
I could dream.
If you could come out to anyone's entrance music, past or present, who would it be?
I feel like we all know this one.
Yeah, I mean, Edge. Next.
Yep.
Specifically, the one.
Oh, you know what? Yeah. Close second would be his Rob Zombie one.
Ah,
I like
Just
that
when
one.
she was about to flip it, she's like, nah,
I
you know.
almost did. I was like, no, can't bring myself to.
Finish the sentence. Kayfabe is.
What was the sentence?
Kayfabe is.
Dead. I don't know.
we would have also accepted delicious on toast. No.
Well, we'll go with that one then. I didn't know this was multiple choice.
It's not.
I don't know what I'm doing.
Nothing to we apparently.
If a Canadian from Canada moves to America, does that make them a Canadian from America?
Oh my God, I have no idea. I don't know. Ask Edge. Isn't that like his? That's his predicament.
Yes or no?
That's a no.
He's
yes or
asking
no?
if Canadians can be from anywhere other than Canada.
I mean,
Oh, okay, we're hurting
who
the point.
comes up with these?
We do.
James and I have an argument where I'm clearly right, but he thinks.
I mean, I'm African American and I've only been to Africa once. So I don't know where.
Good night, everybody.
So you pass on this question.
Yeah, what's the default answer?
Yes.
The default answer. No.
Yes.
Oh.
No.
Oh my God. What have I done?
Don't worry. This is not the biggest James and I have gotten into it on the show.
This happens often.
Before me and
she broke the time continuum. That's what she did.
The time-space continuum.
Before Scooter and myself kill each other, let's move on to the next question.
Okay.
Let's hop in the TARDIS.
Squash, fruit or vegetable?
Jesus.
No, it's not Jesus.
Oh.
To some people, it could be.
Some people, I'm Jesus, so.
I didn't know that this was up for debate. I'm gonna, you know what? Like I said earlier, I don't like fruit and I don't like squash, so screw it. We're just gonna say it's fruit.
Yes! Correct!
Oh God!
Yes!
That is my happenstance. I don't. I recant that.
What just happened? What did I do?
It's a fruit. It is
Broke
a
the
fruit.
time continuum again.
It is legitimately a fruit.
No way.
Yes, because it is grows from seeds. It contains
See,
seeds.
even she's like, really? It's a freaking fruit. So that tells you.
Well,
I don't eat healthy, so I don't know.
Kaliko's idea of fruit is anything that can go in a fruit salad or smoothie.
Squash is not in a fruit.
Squash in like.
Squash ain't in fruit cake. Okay.
Neither is tomato, and that's a fruit.
This is true. Next question. New Japan Wrestler
I'm still getting over that one.
Oh, believe me, we've had this debate 1,000 times by now.
Yeah, till I die, it's a vegetable.
New Japan Wrestler Taichi. His ring gear gets smaller every year, revealing more of himself to the world. My question, what is the appropriate trunks to butt cheek ratio for ring gear?
I don't. Trunks to butt cheek ratio?
The ratio.
I'm not good at math. I mean, I always welcome a little bit of butt cheek, I guess.
All right.
That's my answer.
And we will take that answer.
All right.
Wait, interjectory question. If a train's leaving Chicago at 60 miles an hour, no, I'm kidding.
And the last question, the main event, the thing everybody wants to know. Have you ever had a conversation with a stranger in a supermarket about Darby Allin?
Can't say I have.
And that is the correct
from
answer.
An airport once, but then that fell through.
Nope, that is the correct answer. And that will conclude our interview. Thank you.
Wait, did you say that was the incorrect answer?
No, that was the correct answer.
Oh, okay. How do you know?
What?
Oh, she threw it back at you, Jay.
Hey, how do you like it?
Oh, because we actually went into a supermarket asking people about Darby Allin. we were about that life.
And we got three different responses. James got yes. Kaliko got does he owe you money? And I got sir, we're gonna have to ask you to leave the store.
Sir, this is a Wendy's.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
And that will conclude the interview. Thank you so much, Kennedi, for coming on and doing this with us.
Oh my God, thank you. And thank you for working with my schedule and just being a grand old time.
Of course.
Of course, absolutely. And once again, where can we find you on social media?
So I'm on Instagram. I actually had to think about it. I think it's the Kennedi Copeland. And then my Twitter, because every username that I wanted was taken. And some are even impersonating me. So my Twitter it's Kennedi Copeland, but like every
E is
wherever
a 5.
there should be an E, there's a 3.
3. Yep.
Yeah. So if you see anything else, that's not me.
And do you have merchandise?
What's that?
You have merchandise?
I do actually. I think if you just type in like Kennedi Copeland merch, it comes up. It's like Redbubble.
Yes, I was about to say. I believe someone has a Redbubble.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And all of those links will be in the description of the video below, both on YouTube and Castbox. Give this girl a follow. You've been listening to her for an hour and a half. Buy a damn short.
Didn't feel like it. That was fun.
If you like what we're doing here on Wrestling With, join us this Saturday for our preview and review show. And join us next week as we interview Mama Shango. The week after that, Travis Huckabee.
Oh, love him. Want to face him.
Ooh, all right. We might have a question for Travis before we even with them.
There you go. Tell him I said he's afraid of me.
I will absolutely tell him that.
Quote me on that.
I will play him this video right now. And of course, you could like, subscribe, comment, and please follow our sponsors as well. Rogue Energy, use promo code WRESTLINGWITHE for 10% off your next purchase. And you can follow the show on social media as well. At Wrestling with E on Twitter and Instagram. For everything wrestling with entertainment related. You could also follow us individually. I am at JamesJ993. Where can they find Kaliko?
They can find me trying to put back together the space-time continuum at I am Kaliko.
Where can they find Scooter?
They can find me in their beds with nothing but a t-shirt on. And if you want to follow me on social media, it's at Scooter Dust and holding down for the UNB network at UNBS Wrestling. And just quickly, May 2nd, Williamstown, New Jersey, Chad's spectacular mental health soiree matches to include. God, I can't see now. There it is. Rocket versus Damian Hardway, a hardcore match between two Jersey legends, Chuck Payne and G Raver, plus of course,
so juiced for that.
Of course, Team Larry versus Team Chad. Stan Styles so far for Team Chad, Kennedy for Team Larry, and we may have a
also
couple
Jeff
more.
Cannonball is on the opposing team. So wish me luck.
Jeff, oh God, you're gonna be singing because tonight.
Nice knowing y'all.
Yes, May 2nd for mental health awareness. Check it out. We'll get as much info as we can into the descriptions.
And for our very special guest, Kennedi Copeland, Kaliko Ya, Scooter Dust, I'm James J, and this has been Wrestling with Entertainment.
Hey folks, this is the Colossal Mike Law, and you are listening to Wrestling with Entertainment. Enjoy the show, support these guys. We appreciate it very much. We'll see you at ringside.